to the Not Original channel. My name is Abner. I appreciate you if you came into this video. I want to talk about real quick about a game that I discovered a few weeks ago called Mafia 3. Mafia 3 came out, as you can see, is a 2016 action-adventure video game developed by Hangar 13. And it came out October 2016. That was about 4 years ago. Now, I just pretty much played this game for the last 3 to 4 weeks. I've been playing it non-stop. I'm in my second playthrough now. Finished it again because it was such a good game. And this game, when it came out, it had mixed reviews. Some people said it was really bad. Tight controls, not messy shooting, and mediocre AI. 75%, which is pretty much a C, maybe a C plus, whatever. But I recently played this game. Like I said, I've been playing it a lot lately, and I gotta tell you right now, this is one of the best open world games I've played in a very long time. Now, I never played it before. I didn't play it in 2016 when it came out. I just missed it because I saw the reviews and I was like, oh brother. And Mafia 2 was such a great game. And Mafia 1 is a classic. They did the definitive edition already, but anyway. I love Mafia 2. I love the world. I love I remember when I played the demo for Mafia 2 the first time, and that mission when you have the Gatling gun in the window and you're just just devouring people with that freaking gun. But anyway, I want to talk about this game. This game is amazing. It's awesome. There's nothing that I can say. This game right now is in PS Now, I think. If you have a PS Now account, I tried the free trial and I was like, okay, well, let's see what games they got here. And they had the Mafia Definitive Edition. And I was like, I've never played the Mafia Definitive Edition. Where I downloaded it. They gave you the Battle Pass. It's included. So you get all the extra content. And you get to play the game with everything included from the start. Which is something that I didn't know. I thought that the Battle Pass only included, additional guns and weapons, which this vehicle that you see here, which is called the Stallion, is an additional vehicle that you get on the Battle Pass. But no, you get a bunch of different stuff. You get vehicles, you get new guns, you get new outfits and suits, you get and new missions, different missions, which is DLC for the game, which I didn't know about. Now I'm gonna say I am biased because I didn't play this game when it came out in 2016. I played the Definitive Edition, which has everything and anything. I freaking love this game, dude. I played it twice in the last 4 weeks. I love it. It's such a good game. Like I said, I'm biased. I played the Definitive Edition. It literally has an upgrade when it comes to graphics and AI and everything. And it has everything included. And it was free. I played it. It's a free trial. So I am extremely biased. But I love this game. If you're looking for an open world game that you haven't played, and you're looking for just to waste a couple hours with a story, this is the game that you need to play. Good characters, good designs, good open world. And you can say whatever you want about lazy AI, but the AI was pretty good with me. Obviously, it's a shooting game. It's a third-person shooting game. So what does most AI do? They patrol a certain area, and if you alert them, they come for you, and they go to cover and they react if somebody else dies from the group. No, Nathan, no, you shot him, no, and they corner you and they try to call for backup. So that's not lazy AI for me. They ambush you. They go from the sides. And if you're in the street, that's another thing. The open world of this game is awesome. It's awesome. Now, there's a story, obviously. You're Lincoln Clay, an ex-military guy who comes home from the war for the first time. You come home, you see your family. Obviously, tragedy strikes. Your family gets killed by the Mafia. And then you entail in a journey to take over the Mafia and kill, the leader by killing their lieutenants. And going up the ladder, destroying everything around them, and getting the big guy. And then obviously you have other characters returning from the first game, like Vito and Joe. Vito. You don't really have to play Mafia 1 or 2 to play this game. You can just play this game. The only thing that you're really gonna like be like, who the heck is this guy? Is Vito. Because Vito is in the second game. And if you want to know who that is, then you could just go and play the second game. It doesn't really matter. You could just play this game. Vito is just the gangster, you know? But if you want more context on this character, you could just play the second game, and he's the main character, the character you play as in the second one. And it's a great game, by the way, so you should play it. So yeah. The story is, like I said, it's a story about taking over the Mafia. It's not like it's super, like, complicated. You have your best friend, I guess, Donovan, and he's like a CIA expert in special forces, so he figures out the whole operation, literally, is a success thanks to Donovan. If it weren't for Donovan, Lincoln Clay wouldn't have found any information on how to take these people down. Donovan is a great character. I loved his character. I loved the ending and how open it was with him, and where he figures out that the people that he's working with killed JFK for profit. So I hope they make a game with him, or more content that has to do with him and his hunt for the people that killed, because he's a patriot. He loves his country. He knows his government is fucked up, but he loved his country, and he hates communism. He's such a good character. He's so funny. Lincoln Clay is a good protagonist. Obviously he has good motivation. I love his sense of humor. I love how big he is and how threatening he looks. His scar on the side of his head. He got shot in the face, and the bullet ricocheted from this side of the skull and went all the way back. And he says it in the game. He's like, the human skull is a lot tougher than people think. When they shoot you in the head, you better shoot them twice, because the human skull is really, and it's been, it's been proved in real life that people can survive getting shot in the head. So, okay. So I'm not too, anyway, let's talk about the core game. The characters are good, the story's okay, the core game, pretty much the story mode, if you want to call it that, the main campaign is pretty much, there's like 6 lieutenants, and you have each lieutenant, you have a mini campaign with each one, and you have to take down, there's like 9 districts, you have 3 lieutenants under you, and you need the help of 3 of them, so you have to do side missions for them to do their loyalty, so their loyalty will go up so they don't betray you by the end of the game, and you have to divide each district, each 9 districts, through those 3 lieutenants. So I gave each lieutenant 3 districts, and I would do it like, okay, you get one this time, you get one this time, you get one this time, and they lock down the districts every time you take over a certain, like, there's a district, right? And then, like, Del Rey Hollow has maybe 2 safe houses with the enemy, so you overtake those 2 houses, and then you decide which of your lieutenants, Vito, Cassandra, or Burke, gets those houses, and then at the end you decide who takes over the district. So as you can see, that's Violet, and then Violet. So there's 2 Violets here, and 1 here, so that's Cassandra's, and then Vito's 1, 2, and 3, and then Burke's is this one, and pretty much the French warden downtown. And it's the only, I'm going to start with the gripes that I have with the game. The main story, it's a little repetitive, because all you really do to take down the lieutenants is lower their income in that district. So you go to their whorehouses, to their drug houses, you kill their hitman, you kill their bodyguards, you destroy their property, you burn down their churches and their stuff, and that brings them out to kill you, and then you kill them, and that's pretty much on repeat. You take their money from them, and that's what makes them want to, like, freak out. And some lieutenants are better than others. Some missions to kill the lieutenants are a lot better than others, like Uncle Joe or that bald guy that you throw out of the building. Like, those 2 lieutenants were cool to kill. The other ones were okay. Like, you go to their house or their sash, and then you kill them, and that's it. But yeah, Uncle Joe, you have to go to the bayou on a boat and infiltrate his boat and blow it up. That's a cool mission. The hotel mission at the penthouse, that's a cool mission also. You steal their money, and you can't really buy anything. You can't really buy cars or cosmetics or clothes. You have pre-work clothes already. All you could really buy in the open world is how do I say, is guns and ammo and supplies to fight. Uh, that's the main story. So you go through it, and by the end you take over, or you decide there's five different endings. You can either leave, which is stupid. You can either kill your your lieutenants, like the main bad guy did, and then get killed by a friend because he sees that you become the thing that you overtook. You can decide to rule over the city, which is the best ending, and I think it's the one that's canon. Or you can just leave, and one of the three lieutenants that you had will get the city from you. Either Vito, Burke, or Cassandra, and the best choice is obviously Vito, because if Burke ends up with the city, he ends up dead, and then if Cassandra does it, she's crazy, so she kills pretty much a lot of politicians, and then the city takes over. They just stop funding and they just leave, and the city becomes pretty much a battleground, and she dies either way. There's a hurricane, and those are bad endings. But the main ending, you go to the casino to kill the main bad guy, and this is some of the things that I love this game. Depending, like, the guy is, like, sitting down, and he's like, okay, you sit down and you have a drink with him, and he's like, okay, I'm ready. Go ahead. Depending on what side you come from him, there's different animations to kill this guy. If you come from the side, he hits you in the knee with a knife and you just throw him out the window. You could go over, gut him, and open his belly up and then throw him out the window. You could just shoot him in the face. You could just stand there and wait for him to do something. He grabs the gun and he kills himself. If you go on the other side, you could just slit his throat. There's so many good animations, and those little details is what makes Mafia 3 such a good game. And I love the open world. Like in the open world, you have different missions to do. The more missions you do, and the more you stack up, your lieutenants make more mission off of their districts, and they pay you because you're the big boss. Uh, you could be riding around, and all of a sudden there's people coming after you. The hitmen of the different lieutenants you're going after from the Mafia. You could see a vehicle from the Mafia, and you follow it to a certain place. And if you have to stealthily follow it without them recognizing. And they get suspicious if you eat a red light, or if you don't stop at a stop sign, or if somebody honks at you, or if you crash your car. So you have to be very careful. That's awesome. Those details are awesome. So you follow them to that certain place, you infiltrate it, and they're doing like a deal, so you kill everybody and take that money. And there's a lot of loads of money in that place. You get hunted by hitmen, like I said. You could do that. You could follow the vehicles. You could hit different businesses. This is set in 1968, so obviously racism is still a big thing, and they took big risks. They say at the beginning of the game, hey, we wanted to make the game as close as possible at the time, so there's a lot of N-words. When you go farther north, this detail is awesome. The farther north you are, the less people like you. And then the establishments, like the restaurants, people are like, oh no, I'm black, so I can say the N-word, but I'm not going to because maybe YouTube will demonetize the video or just delete it or whatever. And they're like, oh, you can't be here, you N-word, get out. We don't serve your kind here. Get out of here. And another fun detail about going up or north, the higher you are in the city up north, those are where the wealthy people live. So if you do a crime there, you'll hear the dispatch like, black man, doing havoc around the city. Send everybody you got right now over the dispatch. But if you're like here on the bayou, or if you're in on the Delray Hollow, which is the most populated, where most of the population of the black people are, like if you break crime there, you'll hear the dispatch like, we have reports of a black man in the Delray Hollow wreaking havoc. If you have any time, somebody get over there if you can. And they take a long time to come. So it's a really fucked up detail, but it's true. And I like the message at the beginning where it's like we understand that these things are kind of hard to swallow, and they're a tough subject. But if we dismiss them, then we'll dismiss decades of centuries that black people have suffered throughout the ages. And a lot of people call Lincoln Clay the N-word, and sometimes he has to deal with some. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he's like, okay, I'm gonna kill you now. There's little details like that I love about this game. This game is so good, and they were faithful to the times. Like I said, I'm biased, because I played this game, the Definitive Edition. When I played it for the first time, there's a lot of things you can do in this game. You have a drug empire. You can build your drug empire, dude, and sell weed. You can build your moonshine empire and steal moonshine and sell it. Steal guns and give it to the black people on Delray Hall so they can arm themselves and up the loyalty. You have hitman missions. You have bounty hunter missions. You have missions where you have to steal cars for Burke. You have 3 mini campaigns, side missions in the game that are the DLC that I didn't know about. I thought they were just, like I said, I'm biased. I played the Definitive Edition, so they added everything. So if there's I think a Run Baby Run or something like that, which opens up this entire other area in the map called Sinclair Parish, where you have to fight an army of racist cops that are killing black people. So it's like an investigation that you have to steal these files and infiltrate the police force, and it's a really cool automobile section of the game where you heavily use a car that you get when you finish the mini side mission. There's another mini campaign that you have to, after you deal with after you come back and you go to the Sammy's bar with the reverend or with the father. There's a cult of religious zealots that are racist Ku Klux Klan type, and they worship this ancient god from the bayou to cleanse the black people and only have white power, and it's a whole cult. And it's kind of a horror game a little bit at times when it comes with these cult missions, because you have to infiltrate these cults like safe houses, and they're dark places where you have to use a UV light, and there's really terrifying imagery, and then these women in the cult are really fast, so they just come out of the shadows and just shank you, which is really cool. And another side mission or another mini campaign that takes you completely off the map and takes you to another island, which is pretty much 100% DLC, because it takes you completely off the map. Obviously, you come back at some point and you go fight with Dominant to take care of some terrorists and help save a nuclear weapon from harm's way, anyway, like that. And it's awesome, dude. It's just great. And you're in those races. You can compete in different races, and if you win the races, you win a car in the end. There's 10 different races in the game, and the big one takes you completely all around the map, and it's awesome. It's awesome. Vehicle upgrades are cool. The vehicles in the games are awesome. This vehicle's my favorite, but if you decide to go out, there's a whole a whole wheel of abilities that you have. You can only carry 2 weapons, one sidearm, one main weapon. And if you get in trouble with the police, you can call, the police dispatcher and bribe her to take the police off your trail. You can call your operator and get all the phones disconnected in the area so nobody can call the police when you do a crime around the world. You can call your hitman squad, which is if you're doing a job and it's too heavy, then you kill your hit squad, and 3 to 4 guys come in to help you kill everybody. Your arms dealer, which helps you at any moment in the game for more guns and ammo. Your vehicle delivery, so you can have any vehicle that you've unlocked delivered to you. And your consular, because when you build your money up, if you die, then you pretty much lose half of it. So you have to be calling your consular. Right now I have $2,000. If somebody kills me, I lose half of that. So you have to be calling this person every now and again when you have more cash, so she can pick it up and she safely stashes in your bank. And that's awesome. That wheel of abilities is awesome. Amazing. And you have obviously uh, uh, you know, like a detective mode where if you're infiltrating a building, you can hear inside walls. There's little details where you can like hack these junction boxes, and it highlights different things in the map, like unlockables and things like that, and dispatch calls and things like that. Yeah, I mean, you have a bunch of different weapons. You have throwing knives, you have grenades, flamethrower. I mean, not flamethrowers. Bottles. You have explosives, and you have like a sniper that you can call in. Hey, if you're being like really really fucked up, then you call in a sniper. He comes in and he saves you or helps you with the firepower. And yeah, the world is really big. It's a pretty big open world, a few different districts. And like I said, it's just awesome. This is my second playthrough, and I haven't done. I have to rebuild Sammy's bar, and the Donovan mission, which takes you off the map, which I haven't done yet. But yeah, and then the Bayou is like a whole different wasteland. There's a bunch of rednecks and stuff like that. There's St. Clair Parish, which is where the racist cops missions is, and this is where pretty much the casino was, where you kill the big baddie at the end. And yeah, and there's different types of vehicles, boats. There's no motorcycles like in Mafia 1, which I saw, but there's boats. There's a bunch of different cars, everything from a taxi to a freaking one of these freaking the casket cars where they put you when you're dead. And there's a lot of variety with the vehicles and the weapons. There's a lot of weapon variety, which I really enjoy. And yeah, every now and again, every couple of hours, your lieutenants will have $5,000, and depending how many districts they have, they make more money. Vito's made $5,000 too, and then Cassandra makes $5,000. So you have $15,000 that you can waste on anything you want. And you have, like I said, different costumes and wardrobes. This game is, man, like I said, I'm biased. This game is really, really good. The only thing that I didn't like about this game is, and it's not that I didn't like it, is that I found the story a little repetitive. The main story. Everything around is so good, but the main story, like the way you take out the lieutenants is pretty, I mean, it's a Mafia game. Like, in real life, what would you do? You're not gonna drop a nuke on them. You're gonna kill a bunch of people. So that's what he does. He kills a bunch of people and he steals their money, and then he kills the lieutenant. So it's pretty realistic. It's just a little bit repetitive. And there's different animations to how you kill the lieutenants or the people under the lieutenants, because you have to kill the lieutenants to then kill the lieutenant. So you take all their money and then you go to the lieutenant, and then after you kill that guy, he's like, oh, the boss is in this room, or he's in this safe house, and then you go to the safe house and you kill that lieutenant from that district, and then you decide which lieutenant of yours you give the district to. Like I said, the best thing you should do is to keep everybody happy, give each district to somebody, and part it 3-3-3, so none of your lieutenants betray you at the end, because each one can and will betray you if you don't give them a district. So you should just give each one just 3, no matter what. Even if it says, oh, you can get this item for free, you'll make enough money to buy it down the line. So just do that. And yeah, man, I mean, oh, the camera, I think it turned off. Wait. Okay, there we go. And yeah, man, that's pretty much all of it. And the other thing that I don't like is that the game is really rough around the edges. It has a lot of, it's got glitches, man. To be a definitive edition of the game, it's got plenty of glitches. Like, sometimes you might start up the game, and it might be, for some reason, really bright. Like, all the textures all of a sudden will be, really bright. Like, really white bright. Texture pop-ins, when you call your hit squad, sometimes they spawn right next to you, they don't arrive in a car. Things like that. There's some glitches where this happened to me one time, and all I had to do was quit the game and then restart it and come back in, which was that for some reason the gun shots didn't sound and they were so weird. So I was like shooting people and you could hear everything except the gunshot. And I was like, okay, that's weird. So I just restarted the game and then I put it back on. Nothing too major. It's just really rough around the edges. You got a couple of glitches here and there, texture pop-ins, and yeah, that weird glitch with the gun. That's pretty much what I experienced. So there's a few glitches there, but that sounds like nitpicking from how good this game is and all the content it offers. And it's got a good story, a bit repetitive but good, a good ending, depending on your choices, and obviously I didn't know they were DLC. For me, they were side missions because they were in the game the minute I bought them. The minute I got them, I downloaded the game, I downloaded the whole thing, Battle Pass, DLCs, everything, so everything was included. It's got an awesome open world with a bunch of different variations of what you can do, like building your drug empire, your alcohol empire, your whorehouse empires, how your districts are run by every one of the lieutenants that you're under, and yeah, and all the stuff you can do, and all the side missions you can get, and some of the stealth missions, and the following missions where you can have to follow some Mafia dudes and steal their money. So much cool stuff, man. So much cool stuff. And Lincoln Clay is a cool character. Him and Donovan are a match made in heaven. They're great, great characters. I would definitely give Mafia 3, again, I'm biased, I would definitely give it a 9.5 out of 10. Wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 because no game is perfect. I don't think any game that I've ever played is 10 out of 10. The closest I've ever gotten is The Last of Us, and The Last of Us is still a 9.9. 9.9, you gotta give it that 0.1%, you gotta stick with it. Because nothing is perfect. But yeah, Mafia 3 is a 9.5. A little glitchy. It's got some problems with the glitches. I remember one time I went down to get in my car, and my car was inside the ground. Like, all you could see was a roof. It was like inside the ground. So those a few little glitches, and then the game, like the way you kill the lieutenants is a little repetitive, and you do that for like 15, 20 hours. But man, it's so much good stuff in this game that you really need to get in and really do it, and it's really worth it. And it's free, man. It's on PS Now. It's a free game. If you don't have PS Now, do the free trial. Download the game. It's free. You don't have to pay nothing for it. So it's free. It's a good open world game. It's a cool story, cool characters, awesome DLC missions. It expands the world. It brings back Vito Scaletta. It gives you a DLC where you leave the map. It's free. Okay? So if you just want to play a good open world game, look no further. For 2021, this game is still worth it. 5 years later. And it's free. So just go play it if you haven't played it yet. Don't be a draining little bitch. That's it. 9.5 out of 10. Mafia 3. Awesome game. I'm glad I decided to get it. And yeah, I'm going to do a video soon where I talk about my favorite video games of all time. There's about 30 to 35 games on that list because I played a lot of games in my day. So I'll try to give each game a few minutes of my time real quick and then talk about it and then continue. And Mafia 3 is definitely going to be on that list. Anyway, thank you for coming to the Now Original channel. If you did, I appreciate you. That's it. Mafia 3 Definitive Edition. Go play it now. Stop wasting your time.